In case your knees experience stiff, your stability is a bit off, or you're waking up extra worn out than rest of the trouble, may now no longer be your age. It is probably what is for your plate. Believe it or not, no longer a number of the veggies you've been ingesting for years, questioning they may be healthful, may want to actually be dashing up irritation, draining your strength, and making your legs and mind experience older than they ought to. That's due to the fact after 60 processed meals, otherwise circulation slows, irritation creeps in, and certain healthful veggies can quietly work in opposition to you in place of for you. It's now no longer approximately giving up veggies, it's approximately understanding which of them nevertheless serve your frame at this degree of existence. Because what labored to your 30s or 40s won't be assisting. Today you'll learn the 3 veggies you may need to keep away from, especially if you are dealing with joint ache, mind fog, or negative stability. And the 3 you ought to begin including right away to experience more potent, steadier, and extra energized. If you are over 60, I'd love to listen from you. Which vegetable do you eat? Most usually allow me realize with inside the comments. And recollect to enroll in Health 300 for extra suggestions that assist you live robust, clean, and assured each single day. Now allows start with one of the maximum comforting and maximum misleading veggies in senior diets. Let's begin with a vegetable that indicates up on almost each senior's dinner plate, the white potato. Mashed, baked, or fried potatoes have been a consolation meals for generations. They're heat acquainted and regularly served with love at own circle of relatives dinners, but after they may now no longer be comforting your frame. The manner you suppose? Here's why white potatoes have a set index. Because of this, that they wreck down fast in a sugar to your frame. That unexpected spike and crash in blood sugar would not simply have an effect on your strength. It stresses your blood vessels and quietly fuels irritation over time. This irritation begins a feeble to harm the smallest blood vessels, especially in locations like your legs, feet, and mind areas already inclined in older adults. You won't note it in a single day, however, slowly symptoms begin to seem, waking up with stiff knees, feet that experience bloodless or numb suffering to live consistent on the steps. You may count on it, is simply every day growing old. However, it will be the end result of years of silent irritation because of the meals you agree with. The maximum white potatoes are also missing in antioxidants, the compounds that shield your cells from harm, that faded starchy shadiation. It is a signal that they provide little or no protection in opposition to oxidative strain. And while you upload butter bit or cream cheese or bacon bits, this is even extra saturated fats, sodium, and artery stress. Because of this, that even extra strain for your coronary, heart, and circulation. But do not worry, you do not must give up consolation meals altogether. There's a smarter switch. This is simply as satisfying, and in reality, facilitates your joints and circulation. In reality, one senior we spoke to made simply one extrade, swapping his mashed potatoes for steamed broccoli, and the effects in simply 2 weeks had been unexpected. Now let's pass to the second one, vegetable that often hides in simple sight: eggplant. It looks fashionable, it roasts superbly, and it indicates up in lots of Mediterranean-style dishes. But for lots older adults, mainly the ones coping with joint stiffness or nerve ache, eggplant can be doing greater damage than right. Here's why eggplant belongs to a set of greens referred to as nighttime sunglasses, which additionally consists of white potatoes, tomatoes, and bell peppers. These flora incorporate a herbal chemical referred to as solenoin, a compound the plant makes use of to protect itself towards pests, but on your frame can quietly worsen joints, nerves, and blood vessels. It would not usually motivate unexpected response. In reality, that is what makes it so sneaky. The impact is sluggish, low-grade irritation that builds up over time. Maybe your knees sense swollen in the morning. Maybe your legs sense heavier and stairs begin to sense like a chore. Your stability may appear off now, no longer due to the fact your muscle groups are susceptible, however, due to the fact your nerves are not firing as fast as they used to. That's the difficulty. Selene can interfere with how alerts journey out of your mind and your legs, making moves sense clumsy, volatile, or sluggish. And whilst your frame would not cooperate, your confidence suffers. You may begin to keep away from walking lengthy distances or prevent going out with pals due to the fact you simply do not sense. Regular eggplant also can sneak into food without plenty, grilled, stewed, combined into so you would possibly be ingesting it frequently without knowing it might be a part of the trouble. Now this would not imply each senior desires to give up all nighttime sunglasses for all time. But if you are coping with joint aches, nerve pain, or bad coordination, try disposing of eggplant for simply 2 to 3 weeks. Track the way you sense. Are your joints less stiff? Is your power higher? Is your stability enhancing? If the solution is yes, you have located a cause. The right news: there are masses of greens that do not motive those problems, and we're going to get to the ones quickly. But first, there is one greater healthy look veggie that would be quietly messing together, along with your digestion, your joints, or even your mind read. Let's talk approximately inexperienced bell pepper subsequent. They show up in salads, stir fries, and sandwiches. They're less costly, low in energy, and smooth to toss into pretty much any meal. But here's the component maximum human beings do not recognize. For seniors, mainly the ones with joint ache, digestive problems, or mind fog, and experienced bell peppers can be quietly doing damage. Why the solution lies in a set of herbal plant proteins referred to as lectins. These are protection compounds that help shield flora from pests. But in the human frame, mainly one that is aging, lectins can worsen the liner of your intestine over time. They will block nutrient absorption, inflame the intestinal wall, or even permit tiny debris to leak into your bloodstream. This circumstance is once in a while known as leaky intestine, and it's been connected to continual irritation, joint ache, fatigue, or even decreased cognitive feature. The difficult component is that these outcomes construct slowly. Maybe you've been feeling a chunk bloated recently. Maybe your joints pain extra than standard, or your stability feels barely off. It's clean, guilty aging, however, once in a while. It is now no longer your age. It's your digestion, quietly triggering an immune response daily. What makes inexperienced bell pepper specifically complex is that they may be simply the unripe model of crimson, yellow, or orange peppers, and unripe peppers have extra lectins and fewer antioxidants than their ripened cousins. So even as they may appearance healthful, they may be presenting much less safety and possibly developing extra pressure to your frame. Now you is probably thinking, but I've always eaten peppers. That's K, you do not need to provide them up all the time. However, if you have been coping with joint soreness, bloating, or mind fog, do that. Cut out inexperienced bell peppers for simply 2 to 3 weeks. Then lightly reintroduce crimson or yellow peppers as a substitute. They are evidently sweeter, have extra nutrition C and betaridine, and are much less aggravating to the intestine and joints. Sometimes the smallest meal swaps can result in the largest enhancements in the way you sense. And now that we have got included the 3 veggies you could need to avoid: white potatoes, eggplant, and inexperienced bell peppers, it is time for the satisfactory component. Let's turn the web page. Now, you've found out which veggies is probably slowing you down. But the best information is there are others that permit you to circulate ahead with strength, readability, and self-belief. The first on that listing is one you likely have already got in your kitchen: bright orange candy. Crunchy carrots, they're simple, inexpensive, and frequently left out. But for seniors, carrots are extra than simply a healthful snack. They're a strategic ally for aging nicely. Why? Due to the fact carrots are wealthy in beta-carotene, effective antioxidant that your frame converts into nutrition A, and nutrition A is vital for preserving sharp, imaginative, and prescient. Specifically in low mile, that subjects extra than most human beings recognize after 60 our eyes evidently start to decline. Reading turns into more difficult, faces get blurry, night riding feels extra annoying. But a diet wealthy in beta-carotene can gradual that procedure, supporting you live visually, alert, and impartial for longer. But carrots do not prevent at imaginative and prescient. They're additionally shield your nerves and your blood vessels, specifically with inside the legs, an FT in which terrible circulate and nerve damage frequently begin that approach more potent signals among your mind and your muscles, which ends up in higher stability, quicker reflexes, and much less danger of falls. And for the ones who have been feeling uncertain on their FT, it truly is a effective present. Let's now no longer neglect about every other advantage. A more potent immune gadget, vitamin A, enables hold your defenses up, specifically as herbal immunity starts to gradual with age. So when you attain for carrots, you are now no longer simply feeding your frame, you are fortifying it. And the high-quality component, carrots are clean to put together. Lightly steamed or roasted with olive oil continues the vitamins intact and even allows your frame take in greater of them. Avoid deep frying or overcooking to a lot. Warmness breaks down their antioxidant strength. You don't want a flowery meal plan or exceptional greens. Just 1 serving of carrots an afternoon sliced with lunch blended into soup or paired with a mild dinner could make an actual distinction in the way you sense, pass, or even assume. Now let's talk approximately a vegetable that does not get a lot of interest. However, would possibly simply be one of the maximum effective ingredients for seniors. Broccoli. It's now no longer flashy. It's now no longer ultra-modern. However, it works. And for human beings, over 60 vets, precisely what we want: food that quietly strengthens your frame in which it matters. Maximize. Broccoli is wealthy in a herbal compound referred to as sulforaphane, observed in cruciferous greens. Sulforaphane is like a grasp transfer. It activates your frame's anti-inflammatory and detox structures, shielding your cells from harm on the supply that matters. Due to the fact as we become older, infection turns into one of the silent culprits at the back of joint ache, reminiscence problems, fatigue, or even stability troubles. Broccoli allows prevent that infection earlier than it takes root, but it does not prevent their. Broccoli additionally offers a powerhouse of diet K, calcium, fiber, and folate. These vitamins assist enhance your bones, maintain your arteries, bendy aid, digestion, and enhance mind readability. regions that generally tend to weaken with age. And don't forget Harold, the 72-year vintage guy who ate mashed potatoes each night time. Once he swapped them out for steamed broccoli, only a few nights per week, the distinction became nearly instantaneously. Much less swelling in his knees. More potent, greater strong legs, greater power, at some stage in the day. Instructed us I do not dread the stairs anymore. That one small alternate gave him returned a feel of manage over his frame. The reality is broccoli works in ways dietary supplements cannot. It helps blood sugar balance so that you do not crash after food. It improves stream, which boosts power and allows vitamins reach your muscle, tissues, and mind. And its antioxidants combat the oxidative stress that ends in intellectual fog and slower reflexes. Now the way you prepare dinner broccoli makes a large distinction. Boiling it to lengthy can damage sulfur off, and so gently steaming it, or with olive oil, is high. That manner you hold the healing compounds even as making it scrumptious and clean to digest. So if you are looking for one vegetable, assessments almost each field joint aid mind, readability, blood sugar manage, and each day power broccoli is probably your new high-quality pal. And next, we're going to pass on to one remaining inexperienced. Tender, leafy, and full of herbal nitrates that enhance stream and sharpen your questioning nearly at once. Let's talk approximately. Spinach. It's tender, leafy, and often visible as simply any other inexperienced at the plate. But for seniors, spinach isn't always simply wholesome. It's deeply strategic. This one easy plant allows aid 3 of the maximum critical structures for your frame, your move, your mind, and your muscle mass. The mystery lies in its herbal nitrate content material. When you devour spinach, these plant primarily based, totally nitrates get transformed in your frame into nitric oxide, a molecule that facilitates loosen up and widen your blood vessels. That manner higher blood flow, in particular to the legs, coronary, heart, and mind. And while blood flows higher, oxygen gets brought quicker. Reflexes get sharper and muscle mass reply extra quick. It's now no longer magic. It's simply biology running with the proper gasoline. You are probably amazed to examine that many falls do not actually begin with susceptible legs. They begin with gradual verbal exchange among the mind and muscle mass. When your frame hesitates even for a second, that postpone can cause a stumble. Spinach facilitates bridge that hole, so you pass with extra balance and confidence. But there may be extra. Spinach is wealthy in lutein and zeaxanthin antioxidants that guard your eyes, mainly the macula, liable for clean, sharp, imaginative, and prescient. That's important after 60 watt. Macular degeneration will become extra common. Being capable of study virtually recognize faces, power effectively, and pass through your domestic with reality. That's independence, and spinach facilitates. Keep it. It also packs a complete variety of folate, magnesium, and diet, which guide everything out of your temper and electricity stages to bone electricity and nerve characteristic. So yes, something as easy as a handful of spinach in afternoon assists you to sense extra balance bodily and emotionally. Now how after you put together a keep away from overboiling, which could strip away lots of its vitamins. Instead, strive gently with olive oil or tossing it into a morning smoothie. Raw spinach and salads is first rate to you. Do not want lots, just a small handful. Each day can deliver your mind, legs, and coronary heart a mild, however effective enhance. So let's convey all of it together. You've now visible the quiet fact. Not all greens are useful after 60, and some can also additionally be slowing you down without you understanding it. As we age, meals will become extra than simply gasoline. It will become a each day selection, approximately how we need to sense, pass, and live. That's why it is so critical to keep away from hidden triggers like white potatoes, eggplant, and inexperienced bell peppers. And as a substitute, lean into ingredients that actively guide your well-being, like carrots, broccoli, and spinach. These are not simply wholesome alternatives. They're effective tools for constructing higher stability, sharper questioning, and more potent legs, one meal at a time. And if you have ever idea, maybe that is simply what growing older feels like. Assume once more you have extra control than you watched. Every chunk is a new danger to pick. Readability, electricity, and independent. Now, I'd like to listen from you. Which vegetable amazed you the maximum today? Drop it with inside the feedback. And do not forget to join Health 365 so that you never omit every other easy step in the direction of feeling you're exceptional. Because your frame is nonetheless listening, and with each clever choice, you are telling it something powerful. I'm nonetheless right here, I nonetheless care, and I nonetheless need to stay well.